I'm here to talk about working with tables. I'm using Office 2016. These features are very similar in earlier versions. We have this table here, have the ruler on. We need to change the width. You go into the ruler, you can drag, pull it over, make things fit a little better. Next thing we want to do here, let's say you just want to add another column. You need to know the department. We have the design tab where you have a lot of things, layout. A lot of this is extremely intuitive. For example, if I want to put a column before weekly salary, I click on insert left. It shows a diagram there. And let's say I want to put the department there in. And then I could just use the down arrow to do things here. I could say personnel, media, marketing. You can also, let's say, add another row. If you're in the lower right-hand corner, I hit the tab key. And then I could add another person. She's making, let's say, $8.50 an hour. Other thing you can also do, you can also add calculations. I will get to that in a few minutes. You can also, if I'm on the design tab here, you have these many styles you can do. I want to use this green one here. I might not like that. I undo. I go over here. They all have their own little methodology. So I've got this one here. And I really don't want the first names to be bold, okay? Unless I want everything bold. But next thing I want to do, let's say I want to determine what I'm spending on salaries. I always recommend using Excel to do this. I want to know how much they're making. I go to the layout tab. You have formula here. I click on formula. This is showing sum above. I say OK. Now, you can format the number, okay? It says 4,050 with no decimal points here. I'm going to highlight. This is the calculation here. I right click inside there. I could go into edit field. That could be a little bit too much, but watch this. I'm going to click on formula. It goes into here. I'm going to go into number format here. What I want to do at this point, I don't want the decimal points after here. I have to personalize this. I click here, and what I do, I just get rid of the period 00. I get rid of the period 00. I say, okay, the sum above is adding it. We have that. Now, let's say James got a raise. He's now getting $600 a week. It doesn't show the change here. You click on the field, right click, update field. You might want to right align these. So we have that in here. And if you, let's say Amy left the job, I highlight it. I could just right click. I could just say delete rows. It's gone. Okay. Next thing, but again, the numbers haven't changed. Right click, update field. You can also do more with the formatting in here. For example, let's say I want this thing in alphabetical order. I click on the last name. It doesn't matter where you are actually. I'm on layout tab. I click on sort, and it says first name here. I'm going to change this to last name, and it's going to be ascending order. I say OK. But what I did wrong here, I had the blank one goes above. I'm going to undo. What I should have done was highlighted just these rows here. Sort by column 2. Ascending. Now it worked. Next thing I want to do, I want to add a row above. I'm going to right click inside here, insert rows above. And what I want to do here, I want to put Daily Planet list here. And then I just drag it into here. It's now white because of the formatting in this design that we're using, okay? I want it all centered across. I drag across, I right click, I left click on merge cells. I want to center. Let's say I want to make the font larger. So that is showing in there. Next thing you can do, if I look here, you see first name is bold here. If I highlight it, I do Control B, nothing's bold. Now it's bold. I center it. Next thing I want to do, I want to talk about applying borders around certain cells. You've got this all in here, okay? For example, if I want to change the shading in here, I just accidentally dragged on here. You can make a row deeper. If I'm in here, for example, I go here, I drag it down. And if I want, I'm on the layout tab here, I could center vertically and horizontally. Okay. Talking about shading, okay? Let's say I want a different shading in here. I highlight this row here. I'm on the design tab. I click on shading, and I'm just going to use a blatant color here. I don't want that blue, but let's say I want a light orange. I've got that there. And let's say I want to draw a thick line around this border here. What I typically say when you're doing this, you might want to enlarge. You go into the lower right hand corner. I zoomed this up a bit. It really helps. Okay? You can at this point, if you want to, I shut off the paragraph markers. It could make it easier. I go on design. I want a thick border color, and I'm going to go here. I'm going to go into pen color. And let's say I want like this dark brick color here. I click here. I want a thicker line. I go into here, 2 1/4 point. And if I go here, I have a pen. And when I'm doing this here, it's not doing anything at this point. You got to get it positioned just right. See how I have a thick line here? I let go. When you see that thick line, you're fine. But watch this. I did this. I went too far. I just undo. Undo. Not undo, do. And then I click over here. So I've got that. I want to shut off the pen. I hit the escape key. Shrink this down a little bit. But here, it's not going to win any awards for design, showing you the functions. Next thing here, you can center the table across the page. And I'm just going to narrow this column down just a little bit. I go in those little gray dots there. Be careful when you're doing this. You can sometimes, for example, if I have those highlighted and I do this, don't have anything selected, okay? I want to center the table here. I'm going into the Layout tab. You go into Properties. You can change, I just click on Center here. You can change row heights for each row here. You can change column widths, etc. here. You can do things with the cell here. You can do a multitude of things. You can draw a table. We have this centered. So these are the core basics of working with a word table.